podcast where faith meets exploration.
Well, welcome, Vincent, to the Spiritual Danger Close. Um, Appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem.
Uh, a brief introduction for those who don't know who you are.
Well, my name is Vincent Hagan. I do the project for Pneuma Coffer. I write and record everything on my own. I've been doing it since like the age of 14, 15 when I started recording. Mainly because I never was able to form a band, so screw it, I'll just do it myself.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I think when you started kind of getting popular with little groups of when you released Pneuma Coffer, um, I came crossed you through the group chat that we're in. I think
Hmm.
that's when I noticed you, and so it's really awesome seeing the progress of your music. And I have to say, if your music career doesn't pan out, I really do think you have an eye for directing,
Hmm.
and your
Right.
videography skills is pretty phenomenal. So if there's any bands out there who wants a really great director and is willing to pay him to come out and shoot your
Oh,
stuff,
dude, for
check
real.
his videos out, man. Like, and the best part is you understand cinematography and how you
Mhm.
can tell another story on top of the music of the lyrics that's going on. And I'm just like, how old is he? He's uh he's barely an adult. So
Yeah,
you
when I started this out, I was what, 16 when I started out, and then I think I released As the Living Waters when I was 17. When I started doing like film, like I was 17. So with little to no experience, like the first music video I filmed was Not Deceived. Yeah, Not Deceived. And that's the day I got my camera.
man, that's that's pretty good. You know what I was doing at your age?
What?
Messing around in high school, not doing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little tired of it. Um,
I can't really say that like in the beginning of high school, like I didn't really have a whole lot of friends, and especially the people that I hung out with weren't really like friends either. And I thought they were my friends, but soon later down the road, like they left, and I was pretty much left without like really anybody during high school. So I had a lot of free time to just kind of like sit down and write music and kind of figure out where I wanted to go in life. You know what I mean?
the anxiety of being young and having all these doors, like my parents always told me, you have doors and bridges open to you. And depending on the certain paths you take, certain bridges close, certain doors are no longer open to you. And that gave me so much anxiety of like, oh gosh, what do I need to do? To where it kind of like suffocated me a little bit into taking action. So I was a little delayed on stuff. So
Mm, yeah,
um,
I guess that could make sense.
kind of messed around with fast food chains and kind of job hopping for a bit. And, I wanted to do this degree program or do that. And then I'd say what really helped me was I decided, screw it, I'll join the Air Force. And so
Right.
that's when I started seeing a progression because now I'm a steady income source. I can do something on the side. I can do school,
Right.
whatever it was. So, but
Yeah, you try to find any opportunities you can. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. And
I
I think
think
there's a lot of pressure on youth and there has always been a lot of pressure, but in modern society, a lot.
yeah, I would not doubt that one bit. 100%.
Especially in the day of like social media, when you have a kid who does toy reviews and he's bringing in millions of dollars a year through his YouTube
Yeah.
subscribers. And it's like, like I was thinking about Christmas, kind of having a little bit of nostalgia. Like me and my sibling were really into Transformers, the show,
Hmm.
and he got a Unicron, like this giant transformer, and
Oh,
we had
jeez.
all these little transformer. It was so awesome. I was thinking about that and I was like, meanwhile, nowadays there's a kid going, let's before we open it, let's do a product review and talk about the quality of the build. It's like, what?
Why not? You know what I mean? Have
Yeah,
a little
you
extra
know.
fun. Maybe somebody else wants this, but they're not quite sure. You know what I mean? Maybe they're a collector, you know?
Yeah, and they don't know if it's worth the money. Or you're a
Right.
parent, you know, like
Yeah.
is this going
And
to be
their
a
kid
toy
wants
that,
it.
yeah, is this going to be a 30-second toy like they play with it and it goes in the back of the closet and you shamefully take to a thrift store
Right.
later, you know, or sell on eBay?
Right. I
But
think at some point, like even even though I'm not a parent, even though like I mean, I had parents who gave me things, especially I have a brother, right? So like my parents have always given us toys for like one day, and then we just wouldn't use it. Like we would use it for like 1 week, and then we'd just throw it in our toy box and it'd be gone. Occasionally, we'll play it once in a while.
yeah, I still have some of my childhood toys. It was kind of funny. I had one of the jobs I duties I had in the Air Force. I had my own office. I had my own desk, and so I kind of set some
Hmm.
of my stuff up. And sometimes I'd have younger junior airmen come in just to stop in and see me because they were in the same building or whatever, and they'd come say hello.
Hmm.
They'd pick up these toys, and I'd like, "You want to know a fun fact? That's older than you." And they're like, "What?" Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy. I think my dad also had some of his childhood toys as well when I was younger. And I think he didn't like really loan them to me, but he let me use them for a little while. And also, then he made the mistake of giving them to my brother. Was not a good idea.
That's different, man. Eventually, one day you'll look back on like your childhood, and you're like, "Wow, that was crazy."
That that is true. It just brings back that nostalgia. You're like, wow,
Yeah,
man, those were times.
past is nothing but memories.
Yeah, and that's something you really want to hold on and cherish to. I think that's um one of the things I hold on to when trying to make my music. Because as of right now, like when trying to write something, you're kind of like, okay, so what's the song going to be about? You know what I mean? And being a Christian, yeah, it can be about worship, but like testimonies too, like building a story and making a story and writing a testimony to share to others can be a more drastic change on that person. You know what I mean?
And something I've been coming to understand is like people want to ground you into this like belief where you said something at one point in time, and that's what you believe all the time. Like it prevents you from being able to grow as a person and to learn and experience and have different things that reflect and change your nuance of your belief. So it's just kind of like,
Yeah, you kind of have to like uh not always have not always look in your own perspective. You have to look outside the box. You know what I mean? You're like you gotta question yourself, like, why do I believe this? Why is it that I'm stubborn to not like um think about there's that pause. I'm thinking. Give me a second here. Um you kind of have to think outside the box a little bit, not like look on your own perspective of in whatever that you believe in that somebody told you. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's not like you should sit there and say, well, if somebody told you this, then you should believe it and stick with it. Like, you gotta have to question yourself, well, why? Why should I? You know what I mean?
And it's kind of crazy how many influences there are that like affect you. Like everything is it's like these days now with so many psyops going on and how many the dead internet theory that everything's basically AI bots chatting with each other. It's like, who's this person talking to me?
Yeah, that's
Or
true.
what what does this person in real life want from me?
Yeah, you have to really like always question everything. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not talking about like be like paranoid. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's always good to sit down and like question why. You know what I mean? So you're not just like a robot, and like like you're programmed to believe a certain way. You know what I mean, or a certain thing.
And I think there's a a tendency that people can just be naive, and something that I've struggled with was just kind of not applying my knowledge and wisdom to evaluate stuff as often as I should, if that makes sense. So
Yeah,
I
sometimes we can be very ignorant to certain events and sequences that happen in life, and you just kind of react instead of actually thinking. And I think, on my part, like I struggle a lot with anger. Like I get angry, dude. And I think that my music is definitely an outlet for that. But like, I definitely react a lot more than just actually thinking about why I'm maybe feeling that way. You know what I mean? And I think that's important. You have to kind of like self reflect and be like, why is it that I'm, feeling this way? Why am I thinking like this? You know what I mean?
and that's emotional intelligence, which I think a lot of society lacks on. A lot of people forget about that. Um, and that's the struggle of human existence, being so selfish. Because like if we think about it, it's like you're living your own life, you have your own perceptions, and I'm having my own, and we're at this weird convergence of two crossing ships in the middle of the night. You know what I mean?
Right.
And our it's like someone, what was it? It was like a meme or something. It's like if you think about it, nobody exists until you see them. And it's kind of like a weird way to look at it. Like stuff is going on that is happening without you there, but it's like it's just so different, and how people can have different lives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I guess that makes sense. But I mean, I don't really think like that. Like that's not really like my mindset. Like I actually never thought, and I never thought about it like that. You know what I mean? I mean, I thought I think some really deep thoughts sometimes, but I think I've been past that. I don't really try to focus on stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the philosophers
Yeah.
that 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 leads to many problematic issues. Um, but I think that's the best part. Like you can have different takes on stuff, and looking at how things are. Um, and and just kind of evaluating. I think I'm just doing that because I just turned 35 yesterday, so I'm just kind of
Oh,
like evaluating.
congratulations, dude.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
I'm gonna be 19 in April this year. It's crazy.
Enjoy it, enjoy it, because one
Yeah,
day
I am.
you'll get up
I'm
out of
trying my
bed
best,
and your knees will be like, you're like,
dude.
oh,
Dude, my calf, like I hit legs on Monday, and I started feeling it yesterday, dude. I'm in pain. My legs are in pain.
there we go. Yeah, and I'm personally been struggling with some health issues, and so it's just like I need to go to the gym, but it's like the health issues are kind of like preventing me from doing that. So
Oh, dude, that has to be the worst because I grew up kind of healthy, and then, like in high school, like midway through high school, like I was really bad. Like not too bad, but like I was like mentally and physically not really able to do much. Really, I wasn't able to mentally process anything. I still have struggles with actually being able to process things because of my health. But I mean, it's gotten better. I started working out like just for like home workouts and started eating better, and that really helped a lot. But yeah,
in
I
that,
really couldn't understand, like I couldn't really believe like how would it be like not being able to better yourself because of a health issue. Like that has to be the worst thing. Like I couldn't live like that. You know what I mean? Like,
I think for me, I worked in two different nursing homes, and seeing how like Americans, you see this person, you're like, oh, they have to be 80, and then you read their chart and they're like 55.
yeah,
And so it's just like the health struggles, because a lot of Americans worked for the 20 years and they're like, I hit retirement and I'm done. They stop moving, they sit around all day, and then the body just starts pre-decomposing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it doesn't need this, it doesn't need that. It's like every day
it's
should be a
crazy.
struggle.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
What was it, Plato who said, was it Plato's quote? I want to say it verbatim about fitness. Bodily exercise, when no compulsory, does no harm to the body, but knowledge which is acquired under compulsion obtains no hold on the mind. And he also said lack of activity destroys the condition of the human body. And he also said it's a shame for a man to grow old never knowing what his body was capable of. So,
Yeah, I think during my high school years, I don't know why I keep bringing up high school, but I mean, that's really when things for me personally in my life, even though I'm only 18, things have really changed and I tried to really make a difference because, midway through high school, like I said, I didn't really have a whole lot of friends. So like I had a lot of time to sit down and like think and be active as much as I want because I really had nobody to really talk to or mess with. Even though at some points, I kind of wish I had somebody there. But you know what? I still had, you know, uh, like I was musically talented, so I used that to be active and actually do something. I think if you have, maybe if you have something that you enjoy, if you have a hobby that you enjoy, you should definitely do it. You shouldn't just like sit down and not do anything. You know what I mean? You should do your best to kind of drive forward to the things that you enjoy doing. I mean, whether if it's like reading or taking a walk, you know, too. Like something simple. It doesn't have to be something crazy. You know what I mean? Just do something you enjoy. Do something different that gets you outside your comfort zone. And I think that's what a lot of people neglect is doing activities or hobbies that kind of you know allow them to be active. You know what I mean? Because I think getting out there or even just walking outside is such a benefit to your physical and mental health. You know what I mean?
and I think that's when you have the best enjoyment in life. You know what I mean? You're out experiencing the nature of God's realm that we
Mm-hmm.
have in this experience. I had a friend who, an acquaintance, who was in Israel for academic reasons. And on a weekend, him and his wife decided that they should go do a snorkel. And I can't remember which sea they were in, but he was just diving down and they found this fish. And he was just thinking about, I have never seen this fish before,
Mm-hmm.
but God knows it's here. And if he hadn't done that, he wouldn't have had that experience and just kind of realizing like how much life is out there.
Right. Like you
And
gotta understand like how big and massive this earth is, and he made this place just for us, literally. Like he made this massive amount of land, water, sea, earth for us to experience. You know what I mean?
it's just it's so different. Like right now, um my spouse, she's from Brazil, and so this is like the first time she's seeing snow. And so it's like a complete different take. Not she's seen snow before, but like this amount of snow where like it just doesn't go away until the summer.
Dude, we got hit with a bunch of snow.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy what's going on. It's like East Coast is freezing right now, blizzards,
Yeah.
and then California is on fire.
Oh geez.
I don't know if you saw
Again?
about it.
Again?
Malibu is burning down right now.
Oh
So
dude, that's horrible.
prayers to those who are there. Um, Now that's a topic, that it just kind of shows that the the world is we are caretakers and what we do
Hmm.
with it matters. So,
Yeah, I mean if you read in Genesis, you pretty much when God made Adam, he pretty much said, you have dominion and rule of the land. You're supposed to take care of the animals and actually take care of what he gave you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if your parent say they give you a car, what are you gonna do with it? You're gonna take care of it, or are you just gonna, trash it? You know what I mean? You're supposed to take care of things, or things just won't last.
And talking about cars, Americans don't do like they just don't do what they need to on the car. And then they're like, this car brand sucks. But it's like, but you didn't do the oil changes like you're supposed to.
Right.
You didn't go and get the maintenance taken care of. And it's like,
I mean, just kind of like your health too, like your
yeah,
physical and mental health. Like you got to take care of it. You know what I mean? Like you can't just let it, sit the waste.
there's like the bare minimum and the minimum effective dose. So, people just do the bare minimum or not at all. And you're like, oh, why did my car die?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Priorities.
and then there's the minimum effective a dose. It's like how much do I have to do to get the acceptable results without going overboard? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it's just it's interesting to look at. It's just the car thing's on my topic, so it's been a revolving thing for me. So I
I
had an
know. I
issue
seen that.
yesterday.
Yeah, you talked to me about that. Dude, that has to suck. Suck
So
real bad.
yesterday I had everything wrapped up. I had to replace a gasket on a housing because it was leaking. So I did that and I was kind of in a rush and I thought I topped the coolant off just where it was supposed to be, just
Hmm.
enough. And I think there was too much in the system and it overpressured. And so when I was driving my wife to go get the alignment done on the car to be done with this whole transmission swap saga, it overheated. So it got towed to the Honda dealer. So now I'm waiting back on them to see what the diagnosis is. If I'm lucky, it overheated and it shot a hose off on the back. So um, if I'm not lucky, which I'm still wondering what my luck is for. So I'm trying to be
Yeah.
optimistic that I pray that it's a cheap fix, not expensive. But yeah.
Yeah. Seriously, that's insane.
But when it's all said and done, that's a 20-year-old car with brand new parts all over the place. So it's gonna last a lot longer. So
Hmm.
it's just it's just kind of life can be a little hard sometimes. And I think
Dude, seriously.
and that's the endurance aspect. I think the other day I was reading about in Timothy where he's like, fight the good fight, finish strong.
Hmm.
Um, I think that's the challenge of life is finishing strong.
Right. That's true. You gotta have just kind of like pull through that, climb up that mountain.
Yep. Hello, Mario.
There's the first encounter with the cat.
Yeah. I always do a customary say hello. He's
Meow.
yeah, he's a codependent kitty.
No.
He's a sweetie. But yeah, um, it's very different. Something I wanted to do if you're okay, and we can do it as long as you want. I wanted to walk through your video,
Hmm.
uh, the Empty Boy Part One, and just
Hmm.
kind of skip around and talk about like behind the scenes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no problem.
Like how you did the shot and how it was all set up and what that looked like, and ideas and um, just sort of the conversations because I think I was looking around. I know you've talked to other people about your music before, but I
Hmm.
feel like this is a conversation yet to be had, and I think people would be very interested in. And plus, we have video segments, so
Right.
for those who want, they can watch the video and kind of get your perspective. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Uh, so let me get the sharing screen here. Come on, here we go. And we'll play. Let's see. Do you hear audio? Oh.
Um, it's very laggy. No, I don't hear audio. Dude,
Stop.
5 months ago? Oh my gosh.
Let
Dude.
me see the advanced sharing. Uh-oh, I got a tech support.
I will say this, that that film was $0. $0.
That's insane.
Like I didn't have to spend anything to make it. It was just go out and try to find the most least cost effective thing.
The best the best things are always I see what I did wrong. Round two.
There it is.
There we go.
You got me driving in the car.
All right, there we go.
Put in the park. There we go. Turn off the car. Heavy breathing.
These Nissan ads are getting out of hand.
I'm just wandering off into the wilderness. Wandering on my own. Randomly tripping. Grade A acting right there. Oh my god. So, in that part right there with the I think people will find this pretty interesting. So the idea of the music video, the main idea that kind of like formed this a little bit, I wanted to have a film where it had a first person perspective and a third person's perspective going at the same time spontaneously, if that makes sense.
And I think you achieved that really well. And it's even got you're even touching into like a subgenre of found footage too while
Mhm.
you're doing it.
Yeah.
So we're following this character's story,
Mhm.
and while we're following the character's story, we're introducing another aspect of there's another story
Right.
in there.
Yes.
Inception.
Yes. Perfect.
uh where exactly is this shot? Not to dox the area or anywhere, but you're in the South, right?
I live in PA.
Oh, Pennsylvania. Oh, okay.
Yes.
So completely north.
Yes.
And you've also introduced a horror genre into
Hmm.
that. Obviously, most found footage is horror genre or sci-fi,
Right.
but the
Yeah.
aspect that he's seeing this being only through the camera, like that is just such like a like the shots the shots where he's running away and there's nothing there, but he looks back and you see like
Yeah. That was
that
pretty cool. That was a little idea that I thought would be really cool. I'm like, hey, what if we did this? So,
and let me see if I can find a good still of it was just here. It's probably gonna be really hard to do it. Sorry, my cat. He has. I call it dragon breath. Like his. Oh, oh, that was. I was so close. There we go. Got it.
yes.
Costume design. That I know
That
you.
is that is my dad's. That has always been his. Um, even though I don't celebrate Halloween, but he celebrates it, and it's always been the costume he wears. But I always actually have the same costume from Not Deceived. If you didn't know, if you looked at Not Deceived in the trailer for Not Deceived, that is the same as that costume.
Oh,
And I think in the stuff that I've been doing whenever he does that, it's supposed to represent the deception of the enemy, pretty much. It's just pretty much supposed to represent the enemy, or um,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
and it, it is that is just. It's so awesome. It's it's almost campy, but it's not. If that makes sense. Like it
Mm,
works. Not
yeah, a little bit. Not like
like
100%. Like you can tell, like it's raw. It's not nothing
yeah.
perfect. It's but the thing is, it's not cookie cuttered either. It's
No.
raw and straightforward. You know what I mean?
And the costume is weathered and worn because it's like like you said, your dad had been using it for
Oh
years.
yeah,
And so
he's been using it
there's
for
just
years.
so that and the element, like you speed ran what the costume department on a music shoot would do. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
like it adds a layer of realism to it.
Right.
And the fact that even in the shot of the darkness of the footage of this like old camera,
Hmm.
it blends into the trees for like a little camouflage effect too. So I
Yeah,
think that's like right
it's
here, it's
really cool.
like where you could see where his like cloak is just like blending in the trees. It's really
Really, man, I had never really thought about it like that. That's kind of, I now I see that. That's kind of cool.
yeah, and like that whole layer, like you're talking about deception and
Hmm.
Oh gosh!
I love that part.
it's so awesome.
Excuse me.
Did you catch that?
What was that?
Did you catch him running behind the car in the background,
Yeah,
in the
like
left corner?
it, that's so awesome. And as you're doing this, like you said, you spent zero money on it. To have
Yeah,
this like abandoned car, it just adds another bit
dude.
of like storytelling.
Dude, the thing is, man, that car has always been in our woods for a very long time. Like, it's always been there.
it's almost like a post-apocalyptic feel with that car being in the woods, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like this
We
character is like fleeing for his life and he just finds this broke down car.
yeah. I
Like
mean,
that's his
we're
only form of safety.
yeah, like me and my dad were explaining like if I'm running around, why would I just run back to the car and drive away? Well, we're explaining what if that was the broken down car? It just like it got exploded or something.
Yeah,
Even though that's not the same car, you can definitely tell. But
or it's like those movies where they enter like they're in a different like bubble, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Like the storytelling, like it's just like an
Right.
alternate reality and they're just kind of
The
trapped.
thing
So it's
is,
just
the thing is, in the woods that I'm filming it in, it used to be, I believe, a junkyard or like I don't know, like it had to do with something with like mechanics. Like it was like a yeah, actually yeah, it was a junkyard for cars, basically, and I think it just got ran down. Or maybe
it
somebody stole a
happens.
bunch of cars because if you just like continue in that area, like there's a bunch of like worn out tires and like old like really old cars back there.
Or people who didn't want to pay junk fees would just go junk
Yeah.
junk stuff in
Yeah, they
the
just
woods.
throw stuff down in there. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But yeah. And you're acting at this, just you're like
Yeah.
The darkness glass on our eyes. And this endless flame we're stuck alive. In a battle of dismay. Dreams of
how that ticking noise in the
Yes.
shot flickering like that was just too perfect. Like it's probably like a for people who are more nuanced in cinematography, it's probably like
Hmm.
a that's the duh, that's what you would do. But
Right.
it's just it works so good. And we've not seen the character the demon, I guess. I don't know what you would call it. He suddenly has an axe.
Yeah.
He's
That
he's
that axe,
strapped.
that hatchet, I got it for like $13. But that hatchet, if you know the single for Sin's Bill,
Yeah, it's the same one.
um, I use that axe to cut down all those. So in the music video, I have a bunch of torches in the background, and
Yeah,
I wanted to add more torches, and it didn't really work out because it was kind of raining. But um, I spent with that hatchet right there. I spent 6 hours in the cold rain cutting down freaking trees to make these torches.
that's awesome, and it ties
Yeah.
in. You know, that's being
Uh-huh.
smart and resourceful.
Cooked. I got absolutely cooked. So this part right here is we did this one just for fun, just for like this I really wanted because I shot this one because mostly my parents film it for me. This one I shot myself.
And that's your dad?
Yeah, that's my dad. Which is the same character that plays Deception. But right now he's playing a different character.
When I first saw this, I was like, wait, is this the main character that had been chased around and he's now older and that was something he
Yeah,
experienced?
dude. My dad was literally saying the same thing.
And I was like, no, because if that was the case, they probably would have put his flannel on so that you could see
Right.
that.
Yeah. My dad's like, what were we thinking? We should have done that. And then he finds the camera.
But this works too, you know, it's just beautiful.
I think, to be honest with you, like, I really don't like half the stuff I do because I have a way bigger picture from what I'm trying to achieve. But I also have to you realize I spent no money doing that. We did it. It took a month to record that. Like dead weight, it took me one day, and then the day after the edit the video.
I think that's the challenge for small filmmakers is, and I think that's where the best part of the film, some of the best movies ever made were made for the cheapest amount of money as possible.
Hmm.
I mean, in the horror genre, a classic film to look to is Sam Raimi's um, oh, come on. It's the Cabin movie. Um, I gotta look this up. Brain fart. It was on the tip of my tongue.
Cabin movie. There's so many cabin movies, horror cabin movies now.
It's with no, you don't know the answer. Shush. Yeah,
He
see.
wants some loving.
The Evil Dead.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Evil Dead. I remember watching that as a kid. I'm like, what the?
Yeah, it just shot it, and this film reminded me of that and a little bit of the Blair Witch, you know. Um, but yeah,
Another movie I wouldn't really highly recommend because it's extremely graphic is this Spit on Your Grave. And I think they did a remake. The remake is absolutely horrifying.
yeah, but yeah, like I, I think, and talking about movies today, there's this like, I don't know, there's so much use of green screen. It doesn't, and
It doesn't look
sometimes
natural.
it doesn't look natural. Um, there's ways to use it. I think Denis Villeneuve, he's done Dune and a whole bunch of movies like Sicario, and um, I think the reason why Dune felt so real is they did use those green screens, but they
Hmm.
also brought in props and effects to
Right.
fill
Yeah.
out that volume.
Yeah.
But here you are in the woods, no green screen, nothing.
Hmm.
You're shooting on uh you told me your camera. It's like a Nikon or Canon.
Oh no,
You're
no. I use
no.
a Sony 6600 for
There we go.
my
Sony.
my big. like good 4K videos. And then the little film camera in that video is not mine. It's actually my dad's friend's. I don't know what model that is, but it's still from Sony.
And so like, man, that's it just there's so much going on. I watched it just to watch the music video, then I watched it to watch like and think about how the shots are. I have that
Mhm.
issue where I watch a movie and I'm like, oh, they filmed all these scenes in sequence because they all occur in the same
Right.
place. And so it's just kind of funny seeing how, you know, how movies are made. I've really enjoyed that aspect. And um
Yeah, the way I kind of went about this is like, okay, mom, you're gonna stand over there. I'm gonna go up this hill. I'm gonna run down. You're gonna film me running down this way, and then we're gonna go. Let's this area looks good. Okay, now you're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do
did
that as I'm recording running with this film camera too. And
did
then
you storyboard that at all?
like have like a sequence like on
Yeah, like
purpose. Like
yeah.
no, it's
It
just
was
like
just
random.
all
Yeah, it was just like
that's
yeah,
awesome.
we're just gonna run here. I'm gonna run here, and then when I did it with my dad, I'm like, okay, you're just gonna chase me around, pretty much until okay. Now the you know the Pacific part was the car and him dragging me. So pretty much it was I pick up the camera, I run around for till I get to the car. I get to the car, I hang there for a little while, then I leave, and then I run away from you, and then you catch me. You know what I mean? And then that's pretty much it. It
Um
was like find camera, run away, hide, run away, get caught. If you had to put it like that, that was kind of the storyboard.
and that works. Like just to compare it to like what other people do. If we talk about music video, uh so here's a band, Chelsea Grin. I've seen them live
Mm,
actually.
yeah,
Really
Darko.
awesome.
Actually, Darko, which the vocalist plays in Chelsea, right? Uh, they did after I think a few months after they did a short film, kind of like mine, but way better because they probably got the budget for it. So
Yeah. Like their music speakers in the background are probably
yeah,
worth more than our households.
I know it's ridiculous.
But here they are, they're just shooting on the salt flats in Utah. And it's funny how many music videos get shot at the salt flats in Utah just because it's like such a barren and desolate waste ground. You know what I mean? So it's like
Mhm.
while you had zero budget, you were utilizing your home state,
Right,
Pennsylvania, these woods, and I think it just it tells an equally good story.
right.
Um, it works really well on that avenue, and you've done other stuff too. So, oh, what was it? Pneuma Coffer. The oh, what was the name of the one of the in the rain again?
Hmm?
The your music video with the song with the rain.
In the what?
You were
In the
chopping the
rain?
woods down.
Oh,
The
Sinsville.
Sinsville. There we go.
Yes, the one with all the torches. My mom and my dad were freaking out because the fire. Like they were like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "It's okay. It's only tiki torch. It's not
Ah,
gasoline."
there we go. Yeah, so this is another great film too. And that I think that's what I actually reached out to you on originally was to ask your question about like how to shoot a film. You know, like what would I do? Because I don't have like at the time I wasn't getting into video editing and I'm really not into video editing. I just bare
Hmm.
minimum to do what I need for the podcast.
Right.
So I was talking to you about, you know, this idea. Unfortunately, because of my health issues last year and leaving Japan, I had a song called Hella Oozin, talking about the persecution of the early Catholics in Japan by
Yeah.
the the shogun.
Yeah, you told me about that, I think.
And Hella Oozin is where they tortured and martyred a lot of Christians. And I wanted to film some shots on the island, and so I reached out about, you know, like the best way to do that. just because it was this video. I'm like, and then I was like, how old is he? He's got to be like in his mid 20s, college student doing film as well.
No.
And you're like, no, I'm in high school. I'm like, I'm a little embarrassed about what I was doing in high school. Yeah. And
Yeah, like, dude, I really don't know too much about cinema, like photography or video photography. I just know that if you can make something look cool, and then if you can keep the camera still and have like I think it's called like a focus point. Like if you want the audience to focus on one thing, you really make that part. You really want to make that part shine quite a bit. But usually, it's pointed out, my parents are the ones who actually film, but I pretty much direct everything. I could direct all the stuff that I do, but they're the ones shooting it for me. So shout out to my parents. My parents are awesome.
your mom is so supportive.
Yes, very.
She
Sometimes
claims that Facebook top commenter all the time. Sorry,
that's
my
when I had
cat.
my haircut.
And you just you're
And
out
actually,
making these
this
torches. That's awesome.
this actually was released. I
Uh,
think this would
11
have been
months ago,
released. It was
January.
released 13th, so it was Monday.
So the anniversary is coming up. Blah.
Yeah. I was planning on doing a vocal cover for that one. I haven't not done that one yet for the anniversary.
It's just and the dichotomy of like the seasons of winter and then the
Mhm.
summer. And so shooting this, you must have been freezing because there's snow in some of the shots. And then
Yeah, I
and
have a pretty okay tolerance with the cold. I've dealt with it a long time,
then the other
especially.
one's middle of the summer, mosquitoes and
Mhm. Yeah, the mosquitoes weren't too bad this year actually, which is nice. And gnats too, dude. I hate gnats. They weren't as bad though, so I was very thankful. That was my one issue about summer is when the gnats come back out. Those I hate them so bad. I hate them more than mosquitoes.
as a cyclist and motorcycle rider, just like
Yeah, dude.
or the
I
worst
ride a
is it
bike.
gets
I
you.
ride a bike to work, so like I could totally understand that. I remember like once I had a wasp fly in my helmet. Like literally, it flew inside of my helmet. I'm like, pull over, throw my helmet on the ground.
So terrible.
I know.
And that's just it's really great that you're able to actually do that aspect because a lot of people are just releasing um uh they just release their songs. They do it's kind of like the joke everybody uses that one guy on Fiverr to make lyric videos.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. My first lyric video was actually made by him. I didn't know it was a meme to use him because he basically has like a whole file setup of metal band needing lyric video, copy paste done. Here you go. And so it's like you get bands that actually would have money to have a decent,
Right.
videography video
Hmm.
and or something, but we all go to this Fiverr guy and pay him $100 to shoot us
Right.
a video. And it's just so funny. Have you watched any of Alter Heart's videos? Like you
Some
two
of them,
have a
yeah.
you have a very I would love to see a collaborative Alter Heart Alter autocorrect. Um I would love to see a collaborative video of you two.
Oh wow. Dude, he grew a lot since the last time I've seen him. I think the last time, like when I see him, he had like only 82 subscribers.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
he I think
He
what
grew
really
up a little bit.
helped, yeah. Um Also, I do have an interview with him on the podcast. You guys can go into my episode. I don't remember what episode it is, but yeah, he's got a bunch of links here too. He's been growing. I think what helped him was his brother plays drums, and so him and his brother have been playing music together.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so it just kind of works. It's just really awesome, you know, making friends with you guys and And some people say I leech off of you, but whatever. I enjoy it. I just do music as a hobby. It's something I didn't know. I got into a lot of like Christian metalcore stuff and I wanted more
Hmm.
Christian deathcore. And at the time I didn't find a lot of Christian deathcore that was still happening. My favorite band is In the Midst of Lions. Uh, but we are taking a break.
Sorry, that was my mom.
No worries.
Okay, so what was going on?
I was saying one of my favorite bands was In the Midst of Lions, but when you realize that like they're not making music anymore, it's like where do I get Christian music from? And
Mm,
um,
yeah.
I I had a Mormon acquaintance that was showing me how to do music, and then I started hanging out with online with them and doing it. And I was like, what? I make screamy music, maybe I could do something like that.
Right.
Like so I just started doing that, and I've got
Cool.
just two songs. You're obviously more, you have the skill. I'm a charlatan. And it's inspiring to see the success you have and kind of reflect on that, of you being able to use your talents for um, something to bring people closer to Christ.
Hmm. I
When
think
Yeah, go ahead.
a lot of bands now, like most metal bands don't do that. So I kind of like what I want to do. I really want to push my limits and especially push the boundaries um with metal music up to date with like all the modern bands, especially the ones that you're hearing now that are not Christian, like Knock Loose or um freaking Motionless in White, stuff like that. I kind of want to push their to higher over um in their type of level of like heaviness, but make it Christian because I feel like a lot of Christians sometimes may, I just have a feeling may like stray away from, because I have an issue with this too, stray away from Christian metal because it just isn't like heavy enough. You know what I mean? Because I mean, I'm not saying like all the Christian bands, especially like Convictions or like Bloodlines, I love their stuff. But like sometimes for me, it's just like, man, it's not heavy enough. It's not like giving me enough oomph. You know what I mean?
Like I hear you. That like it's kind of like when people think of Christian music, they think of K-Love Radio, which I don't think there's
Yeah.
anything bad with that, but there hasn't been any innovation in that
Right.
music. Like there's nothing there. And there's all these like where's the
It's
Christian
empty.
jazz? Where's the Christian, um
It's
good
very like cookie cuttered and like it doesn't actually, it doesn't resonate with you. Like I feel like music should resonate and have meaning, not just like empty sound. You know what I mean? Empty noise. You know what I mean?
And I think that another challenge that Christianity has is the music topic, which has been a debate that has gone on for a millennia. That music is inappropriate, it leads you to devil worship, or dancing is
Yeah.
bad, and then it's just like um, Psalms of David.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really understand where people get that from or why they think it's bad. And if it was, like, why is it such, how is that even a big deal? You know what I mean? Like, for example, like, how is dancing bad? That makes no sense. I mean, it depends. I guess it depends on who you're doing it for and why you're doing it.
Um, oh, it was in the Christian metal hardcore group. I think you're in that one as well.
Hmm.
Someone was complaining about how come all Christian death metal bands all sound like the B side of Suffocation or something like that. So,
Suffocation.
uh, a death,
What's
I
that?
think it's a death metal group, like a mainstream death metal, not Christian.
Oh,
Um, And I think that's also a challenge that people think that you can't have that kind of music. And there's also the challenge of people, I've seen this a lot, especially on Facebook, where people are using Christian stuff to sell content, and it's not genuine. Like there's this video of this Protestant girl going around her house filming, and she's waving sage, and she's holding a Bible, and she's like throwing water in parts of her room.
Okay, what?
Um, yeah. And people are like, yeah, and I totally set up my tripod to film this every day. It's just like the the genuineness of
Um,
what people are doing. You know what I mean? So it's like,
that's that's kind of the deception I also kind of want to call out, like with my music, especially with the Empty Boy. It's very dark, but I'm using that darkness to kind of call out and expose it. You know what I mean? That's kind of like what I'm trying to do right now is expose darkness. But I'm also trying to tell a story as well. You know what I mean? Like my own testimony, my own personal experiences.
and the opportunity of what people do, because there were bands that started. Devil Wears Prada, for example, was Christian in the beginning,
Hmm.
but now they've gone mainstream, and even so much that some of the songs are almost anti-Christian and what they're getting at. And so it's like I'm pro music. Like obviously I'm not going to be listening to Pneuma Coffer in church. Like I feel like there's a time and place and setting for stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, and there's so people are just so hardlined on that if it's not K-Love, it's satanic. And I think that's a hindrance of people thinking about it. And I've always asked this to everybody, but it's just like there's ways to go about making music that can be uplifting.
Hmm.
And I talked about this with Logan Thompson. I haven't released the episode. I will, but for the folks who are catching this, go back and listen to that episode. We have the same talk, and I've asked this of every Christian band I've had on this page about, what are your thoughts about when people say um, there can't be Christian metal? And I think it's definitively too bad. There is Christian metal right now. I'm Christian. I'm making music. It's metal. Deal with it. And
Yes.
and one of my new favorite bands right now, obviously, I like your music,
Hmm.
um, is Holy Name. They have a
Hmm.
song discography, and it's just it's so catchy, and it's about let's see, come on. Uh, we have a snow day here, so the internet's kind of slow.
Oof.
Meet my favorite song by them is Meet Me Somewhere Quiet, and the the song is about prayer and meeting in seclusion and praying and God coming to you to be in that moment.
Right on.
So it's just like people are making very inspiring. And for somebody
Right.
who's maybe going through something,
Hmm.
um, to have other avenues to listen to, I think it's important. You know what I mean?
Right.
In not having that cookie cutterness, because
Yeah.
it's pretentious, and I feel like I I feel like that has to deal with some aspects with people fighting against traditionalism, um, but it just doesn't feel genuine. Now, it doesn't mean I haven't enjoyed songs that
Hmm.
they have made, but it's just like I don't. It's not something I would listen to every day because it's not something I
Right.
like.
Exactly.
And have you had an experience where somebody's like messaged like, "Hey man, thanks for the song. Like it really helped me."
I think when I first released my album As the Living Waters and when Kingdom Core post the first video, I think it was called "Come to Him," which is pretty much coming to Christ. Um, I think one person kind of heard that song and kind of got inspired to follow Christ again. There's like a message. He typed the Kingdom Core, and I think there's a few other people that personally messaged me saying, it kind of helps them stray away from other music, like they shouldn't be listening to secular music and stuff like that. Like I actually have this one buddy of mine. He said he listens to Lorna Shore, but he actually prefers my stuff instead of Lorna.
And that's, I love Lorna Shore. I think I told you this. I was actually, I purchased a course through Chris something, what's his name? He does YouTube videos. I've done a couple of his now, and Will Ramos was involved with a woman named Charismatic Voice. She's a trained opera singer, and she's
Mm-hmm.
like, she breaks down technical aspects, and she had never been introduced to metal, and so people are like, hey, I think you should go listen to like Sepultura or insert band. And so she came across one day somebody said, you need to listen to Lorna Shore. Will Ramos will freak you out. And they basically
Yeah.
became friends. Like he's
Oh,
hanging out at her house. They've done a lot of stuff,
that's cool.
and kind of getting some of the comments. So with my health right now, like I need to try to get back into music practice, but my room is very echoey, as you can tell. So
Uh-huh.
postscript, I'm gonna have to remove that. Spend all the money on cars, no money for acoustic treatment in the house.
Dude, I for my before we get back into that, I use because I'm very cheap and I don't have a lot of money either. I went to Walmart and I got some poster frames and I used acoustic foam panels and I freaking glued the foam panels onto the poster frames and just hung them up on the wall.
That is ingenious and it works.
And it actually fits because all you need is what, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, 8 panels. That's about it.
And it's not glued onto the wall. It's not
No,
destroying the
yeah, it's
paint.
just yeah,
It's
you
just
just hang it up.
pictures.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I plan on doing a good treatment here just because I do a lot of recording, video calls and conferences
Mhm.
and stuff. So plus, I don't think my neighbors would like the blah.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Dude, I live in an apartment and I got a full drum kit too, and I'm always blasting music. So I mean, I try to be quiet as much as possible. I really hope when I move out, I can find a place that's like secluded and not like super close to anybody. You know what I mean?
I
But
think being ingenious about how to do stuff because it would be cool to have a full treated room, but like like why would I would have to invest in temporary stuff just like you did. You know what I mean?
uh-huh,
So it's just like uh, doing doing what you can to achieve the results. Uh, it's kind of being frugal with it.
right. But anyways, Lorna Shore vocalist opera thing. What was
Oh yeah, the charismatic voice. She actually she's done a lot of stuff. Let me oh come on, hold on. I need to open my email here. I'm not screen sharing, am I?
no?
Okay. I can't
At least I
remember
don't
the
think
name.
you are. Yeah, you're good.
Uh, uh, Chris Lipe. Okay. Chris Lipe has vocal courses.
Okay.
There's another guy named Sibla, Extreme Action Music. That's currently what I'm using. He has a Udemy course, which I would actually recommend. It's very affordable and it's all at your own self pace. But um, before I came across that, I found Chris Lipe through YouTube, and I've done a couple of his courses. One with Lucas Magyar of Veil of Maya, and he also has another project. He does a lot of stuff. He's done Periphery. He's got Will Ramos, Lauren Babick of what music group is Lauren Babick in? So he has people come on and share their genre, and more than just metal music. He
Oh,
caters to all, like how to sing like Chris Stapleton. He breaks it down.
huh.
Uh,
Okay.
with music coaching, there's a lot of snobbery of like how to do it, or you do this and it doesn't do well.
Right.
Like Sibla Action Metal talks about how he gets a lot of people who were hurt through other music courses because they weren't teaching the basics of like, yeah, you can scream, but you can hurt yourself. There's a way
Right.
to do it. And you start with a melodic foundation, you
Yeah.
work yourself up.
Yeah.
There's exercises
Mhm.
and
I will say in my vocal ability, I can kind of do it safe. I'm still trying to learn to do it safe. But like in my Garden of Wither, especially, a lot of very unsafe vocal techniques I do not recommend trying. Not especially the empty boy that is literally just screaming on the top of my lungs. Do not try it. Like on the breakdown where I'm like, crap, what was it? In this living hell, he screams to the heavens, where are you now? Where are you now? Like I'm literally just screaming into the mic. Unhealthy. Do not recommend. But
and
that's the thing is about that is if you're doing that live, you don't want to do that. But like in a studio setting, it's kind of acceptable to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Sorry.
And I think another option people see is Extreme Vocal Institute. I started doing following him around during COVID because he wasn't able to do COVID basically stopped a lot of stuff, and so he was like, "Well, I need to do something." So he opened it up with his wife, fiance at the time, now wife, and he basically put out these like full on lessons. It's a little pricey at like $30 a month. I've enjoyed the Cibola course. It was a one-time purchase, and I think that's a lot
Oh,
of
nice.
opportunity. Something that I started getting into because of Will Ramos is Mongolian throat singing, because the transitioning of how to throat sing safely to extreme vocalization, it works. So
I have no idea how to throat sing. No idea.
let me.
All I know is, oh my, how did this happen? Why must you do this to me? These hordes,
No, he's not talking about you.
man.
I have audio takes I need to cut together because if I ever release my EP, the back of it is just going to be him crying into the mic because he comes up and he cries into it because he thinks he has to as well.
What?
Yeah. He's just like, I've had so many takes interrupted because he'll come up to me and be like, "Meow." I'm like, like that, you
Dude,
know?
you should sample his meow.
Yeah, I need to.
Like put it like in a spot like before a breakdown, have like a pause before the breakdown, just put the meow and then freaking slam into the breakdown. That'd be pretty cool.
My female cat, she hisses, so I need to get her to hiss. I think that would be pretty good. Uh,
Yes. You get that.
Well, if you come across, I sent you the link for the Udemy course on Sibla. I would recommend that one. Just it, you can use it as your own, and just
Mhm.
kind of build. But the Lucas Magyar experience is really cool because Veil of Maya was one of the metalcore bands I got into, and so being able to actually, it was expensive, but I actually got feedback from Lucas on music, and that was part of the course. It was like him responding to what my goals in music were to uh
Oh, that
to
is
then
cool.
come up with
Okay.
a game plan for music. So I'm trying to find the email here. Lucas. Yeah, there we go. I'm not going to share it, but I do have his email, and it's pretty cool that I have his email in there. Um,
Sick.
So he gave me a 5 day routine um, of songs, like cover songs, as things that I should practice. He gave me In the Midst of Lions, The Machine, With Blood Comes Cleansing, Evangelion, Being as an Ocean, The Hardest Part, Being as an Ocean Alone, and Chelsea Grin, Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
Just when you told me that you're practicing my song too, I remember you saying that you're doing vocals. Maybe it wasn't you. I don't know.
No, that was me.
Maybe. Oh, okay.
I
You're doing dead weight. You said you're gonna try dead weight. I'm
yeah.
like, oh, dude, that'd be sick.
I'm very shy. Very shy. I had some trauma as a kid, and it's just kind of stage fright. Like I think that's what kind of pushed me to not being very clear. But at the same time, I've become charismatic as I gotten older, and so it doesn't really
Mhm.
bother me as much. Yeah, a little embarrassing since I brought it up. So I was a career day in elementary school, and all the kids were coming out, and the parents were in the audience, and it was dark, couldn't see any faces, and they said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I was in that Spider-Man phase,
Oh, really?
and so obviously I said Spider-Man,
Hell
and the
yeah.
teacher went, "That's not realistic. Pick something else." And so I
Who
just like dropped my
cares?
shoulder and said, "Street sweeper," and walked off the stage. And so like childhood trauma, it's still there. Anytime I get up in front of people, I think of that experience because then the audience laughed, right? And so it's just like core memory,
I would
core
say I would
trauma.
laugh because I wasn't laughing. If I was like a parent and I watched you go up there and say that, I would laugh at the because I think you would be joking. I wouldn't be laughing at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Looking back on it, it's a funny experience. But yeah, I was doing some dead weight stuff. I have been so bad. It's been probably the last time I did music practice was sometime in August, just because last year I had 3 surgeries. I was in the
Oof.
ICU, um,
Yeah.
dealing with all
That'll
that.
that'll do it.
Now, I'm fighting some lung health issues as well. So it's like uh, it's kind of hard to do stuff now when you have to have one of these. So
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
and new place and moving and stuff. So I think I still think about it. Uh, somebody told me once to save money, if I want to get something, I wait 3 months. If I'm still thinking about it 3 months later, then it's probably something I'm truly interested in and worth spending my money on.
It's pretty smart.
And it
Pretty smart.
works. And I did that mainly for tattoos. I don't have any. Probably a good reason too, but it's just like I don't have any, right? Because I'd like,
Right.
oh, I'd want to do this, but it's like uh 3 months has gone by and I have completely forgot what it was. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's just like obviously it's not worth spending money on, and
Right. That's
and now
true.
that I have other prerogatives in life and
Hmm.
stuff, so being frugal is a necessity.
Yes.
And that's when you said you spent zero money on that film. That's absolutely beautiful. You borrowed a camera, you used your dad's uh almost family joke of him using the same costume every year,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
mean, I'm not sure it was like every year, but he used it pretty often though. Yeah.
and that works.
Yeah.
I have a song. I don't know the oozing thing I need to work on, but one of the songs I do want to release is My Guardian Angel is a Tyrannosaurus T Rex. Where I'm at in South
What?
Dakota, they have a dinosaur quarry of where they found a bunch of dinosaur bones, and um, um, they have a bunch of dinosaur statues. And just down the road, they have Mammoth Springs where they have a mammoth statue. And so I already have locations where I'll go shoot that video because
That's
I
pretty
think that would
cool.
be awesome to use it. So, but yeah, I think using what we have and the skills to
Yeah,
be
that's true. I think at this point right now, for me, it's kind of a little bit of a challenge because I already kind of did everything. I mean, not like everything, but everything that I think that actually would work. Because I'm in that like point where like, okay, I already did it. I already did these ones. Then I'm in the process of running new stuff right now. I want to try to make the last thing I did better than the other. So like what can I do to improve what I did last time? You know what I mean? And it's kind of like it's hard because I don't really want to spend a whole lot of money and make it as least cost effective as possible. But for what I want to do, it's really the opposite. It's pretty expensive.
Yeah. But likewise, you can look at these movies in Hollywood, for instance, that, um, oh, I can't remember the name of the movie. Anyway, they spent a ridiculous amount of money on this movie, right? And it didn't do
Mhm.
well in the box office. Meanwhile, a movie that was filmed on $300 million budget freaking quadrupled the sales of the other movie. So it's like, the expensive money doesn't necessarily translate to quality
Right.
and
Yeah.
liked review of your audience. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, it's all about really being creative, to be honest, and working with what you got. And I know that, but I guess there are some points in time where money do has to be spent if you want like a certain result, but it factors in what you're gonna do with it. You know what I mean? Or if you can find something else that's still as effective.
and it's like choosing what that investment is. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
money, it's easier to spend money than to receive it. And so
Right.
it's like, okay, I have $100. What am I going to spend it on? And hoping that you get the right stuff. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
That's pretty much my budget for most of the music videos is like $100. Like, what am I gonna do with it? I think also one of my free music videos that I did that cost nothing was Fullest for Broken Dreams. That was all green screen.
and with the way that there's video and AI editing and stuff, there's ways that you can even maximize doing that too. So I think there's a conversation in music right now. I know Broken Curfew Records had some drama because Seth is very against using AI um,
Um,
for
yeah,
music.
I don't I mean I don't what's the word I'm looking for? Something at my tongue. I can understand why they don't like it. I mean, it's pretty like you're not really like working for it. It's just kind of there for you. You're not actually making something out of what you could do. It's from a computer. You know what I mean? Generating it for you. It's not really it doesn't really hold something special. It doesn't really give it a lot of meaning. Sometimes it can be kind of empty. But I do kind of see it as a tool. I see it as a good way to kind of get ideas flowing, but not as something that should be a finished product. You know what I mean?
And as I just finished my graduate degree, and my university and a lot of universities were struggling with this issue of students just straight up using AI for plagiarism, of taking the assignment, putting it into ChatGPT, and asking
Yeah.
for it to come out, and then the professor's going, "Wait a minute,
Yep.
they're all the same."
Literally.
So generative prompt transformers. Uh, and other aspects, I think there's a place for it to be used. But if it's solely that, then I agree to an extent. Like Seth and I, for my hypersonic apocalyptic warfare video, we
Hmm.
tuck I tuck my lyrics because I have 4 verses, and I tucked those lyrics and threw them into a image generator. And we then use those images to provide background sequences that he then later cut into the video. So
Okay.
I think, like you said, so getting back to the school thing, so instead of panicking about students using it, it's almost like when the calculator first came out. That's
Hmm.
why I'm bad at middle math, is because my school and academics realized people are going to have calculators. It's not as uncommon, so people should be able to use them. And so instead of having to
Right.
memorize everything, times tables, and do it all in my head, at an early age, I was given a calculator, and I was just doing everything on calculators. And so if you give me a test and no calculator, it's a very hard thing for me to do. And so, and then on top of it, you have to have the knowledge of doing that. So, like in statistics, for instance, uh, to get a batch of data and to analyze it would take very long to do it manually. And so they have all these programs to do it. And so now, to be a statistician, you have to understand how to do it by hand so
Hmm.
that when you get the results from the computer, you can go, wait a minute, that's not right.
Right.
It's almost
Yeah.
like knowing, positive and positive, shouldn't result in a negative, or a
Yeah.
negative and positive is innate. You know what I mean? Like, and then you
Yes.
see something, it triggers you. And so now a lot of schools, last 4 courses I had, one module each week was to use GPT to do something,
Right.
and then take what that did, analyze it, and see where it was right, see where it was wrong, or compare it to how other methods were done. So it's like, instead of panicking about this new technology, um, learn how to use it in a way that is effective. And I think when it comes to media and Hollywood, there was the big writer strike where
Hmm.
people were panicking about them extras. A lot of people in Hollywood that just are in the background shots, the executives wanted to take their likeness, pay them $300 to own their image for life. And so what that would do is they would no longer need actors. They could impose them in post-production in the backgrounds of sets. Bam, we no longer need to pay people to come and work on our movies.
Um.
And GPTs, a company, was saying that we can create a better script than your writers. And so the Writers Guild started striking. And so
Yeah.
um,
That's messed up.
and it's just like when you go to Walmart now, how many self checkouts are there? So
Hmm.
Walmart has said it's faster because you check it out, but look what they've done. They've robbed you because they've now made you a part of the process to
Right.
purchase stuff. Just like somebody made the argument, it's like it's no different doing a self checkout than you going on to an online store and purchasing something. Which in a way is
Yeah.
right, but at the same time, it's like I saw a meme where it said, "What was Walmart going to ask us to do? Stock stuff to get discounts? Hey, if you'd like to save $5 on your order, you want to go stock this aisle?"
You want to do our job for us?
Yeah, and then we can
Yeah.
fire the employees, and then now we just need one person to watch the registers, make sure people do
Yeah.
it, and
And
then
then
we need to hire one person to fix them all.
you got robots. That's coming. That's gonna be a thing too. Freaking 20 years down the road, I'm gonna have no jobs.
That's what my degree is in, and it's scary, exciting. I have hope that humanity makes the right choices.
Oh yeah,
Historically being
for real.
minded, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I think there's a time and place to use stuff that would be useful, to
Yes.
compare. I'm not going to lie. Some of my music I've helped, it's helped me become a better writer, because I
Hmm.
was using ChatGPT to break down my favorite songs, to do comparisons between lyrics and like what works, what doesn't work, least songs, what, how, and then give me a list of things I can think of as I'm actively writing and doing that.
Right.
So
I think that's the best thing. Like one of the best things you can do as an artist or even a creator when you're in that the heck is it called? That creative lull, like that setback, like you don't really know what to do. You kind of just like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, let me take it step by step, and then you use ChatGPT, which gives you all those steps in one go, and you're like, okay, I have something I can feed into and start feeding ideas off of. You know what I mean? To kind of just like take that first step. You know what I mean? When creating something, and I think that's important when you're stuck in that type of moment where you're just like, I don't know what to create. So you have something there already available to kind of give you ideas. But I think the mistake that people are using is just using that as a final product, um, in what you're creating, and that just kind of makes everything seem empty. But I guess I mean, if you're happy with it, I guess that really all that matters. But if you're trying to, like for me, if I'm creating music, I want it to be meaningful to somebody else as well. Like I don't want to just have um my own gain, but I want other people to gain something out of what I'm creating, you know. So I really want something that I'm creating from me, obviously.
sorry, I just got an email. My school sent me my diploma. So
Oh,
yes.
that's cool.
Um,
Congratulations.
yeah, Mario, Sadi Evek. And and let's look at it this way. You obviously are a better musician than I am, but regardless, we're by ourselves. I'm sure you can share ideas with your family and they can give you feedback. But
Hmm.
normally in a situation, you have a band, a drummer, bass guitarist,
Right.
vocalist, maybe a
And dude,
vocalist and a guitarist,
I
and
would
you're able
love
to bounce ideas around.
Dude, I would love to have a band for Pfeuma, for real. Pneuma Coffer. If I can form a band, that'd be awesome. Because that's kind of like the main thing I wanted to do as like in high school. Like I wanted to form a band, but it never worked out. Like so I just kind of did it myself. But like later down the road, dude, I would love to jam with somebody who's, you know, we can actually, like
Do
relate
something
to.
together.
You know what I mean? Like that
Um,
initial click.
Diamonds to Dust is actually pretty close in your neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah, I know. They're I think
New
they're in
York,
New York. Yeah,
Upper New
they're just
York. Yeah.
above. They're just above us. Speaking of that, Christian Roach, such an amazing dude, freaking featured on Telltale.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, that is awesome. I think there's opportunities. I was supposed I had a military assignment to go to Florida, and I was so excited because I was going to be able to go hang out with Searching Serenity. But now he's busy. He's got With Blood Comes Cleansing.
Hmm.
Um,
That's
um,
awesome.
but being able to collaborate real time, and have that ability to work with people, it's kind of art. Like music is like one of those things, unless you're like a jazz player who just plays the trumpet by himself, most music is not made in a vacuum. And so I think being able to
Yeah,
utilize your resources.
and that's the thing. Like I can only do so much. It's not like I'm an octopus that has 20 arms, 20 legs that can play the instruments at the same time. I wish I could, but I can't. So like I feel like my music could is a little like it's not the potential's not there 100% because I'm pretty much doing everything separately. Everything's not together. Everything doesn't it doesn't have that different like for example, like if you have bandmate, you can flip ideas off each other and like you can create something different instead of just having one idea and being committed to that. You know what I mean?
It's like learning that drums need to be tracked first because it provides rhythm.
Hmm. Yeah,
Can we guess who did it backwards?
pretty much. I what I do, well, the way that I try to write something is that I'll write a riff down and then I'll program drums into my DAW. Now for my next project, little um sneak peek, I'm gonna be recording live drums. But as of right now, I program all my drums first, but I really want to record live drums, which is right behind me, and I think it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be awesome because I really want to capture that raw sound that I have. And I think that's super important in music today is still capturing that live sound. You know what I mean? Because that's the real sound. Like back in the day, like live shows and like live recordings were like the best recordings you can get until studios came around and then studios started making it better. And now studio recordings are better than live shows. But I
and
also I also want to capture that live sound, but in a studio like context. You know what I mean?
and not that drums can't be like digital drums can't sound good, but it's different because like let's say you hit the snare just right,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind
Yeah.
of slides. It doesn't tap it like you're supposed to, but it just kind of slides.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody will hear that nuance in there, and it adds extra character to it.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
um, a
Instead
lot
of
of
like a program drum where you just hit it, it's just like yeah, instant impact the same the entire time. It's the same thing. Like there's nothing different. It doesn't have character to it. It's just like very straightforward. The same thing every time. You know what I mean?
I think it comes down to the music engineer, but having taken a lot of courses on music engineering, which I also suck. I'm really good at doing a lot of things, but sucking at them all. uh, is it comes down to the engineer's taste. That obviously they say the best mix is a good recording. That's
Yes.
the
That
best
is
way to
very
get your mix.
you
You
can't
start
polish a
with the
turd.
recording. Yeah,
You can't polish a turd. That was always the first thing I learned from making music. You cannot polish a turd.
shit in is shit out.
Yep.
Um, it's kind of like when people post on like Reddit, they're like, "Hey, how does this sound?" It's like, well, get rid of that Scarlett Focusrite and let's get some real equipment here. Um,
I use a Behringer Euphoria UMC 1820. I got two of them
Nice.
running
I'm just
through ADAT.
I'm on a M Audio Duo.
But
Very
again,
easy.
least cost effective um
Approach, yeah.
yeah.
That's why I want a Shure SMB7. They have that new one, but
Hmm.
I can't afford that. So I have a
Right.
Lewitt LCT 240 Pro that I got on a Black Friday sale in Japan. So and now it's like a little token of being in Japan, and it sounds just as good.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like with the cheaper stuff, there's definitely some things you need to tweak, like a little bit of EQ, maybe a compression, but that's about it. Like you can still get like the same, almost the same amount of results from like a cheap microphone compared it to a more expensive. You know what I mean? It's just how you engineer it and go with it. You know what I mean? You just got to kind of learn and take that extra step to make it better.
And you're talking about drums. From what I would say it's pretty average. That depending on the engineer, some of them like to have live snare
Hmm.
and cymbal, and some of them don't, where they just record the toms and the what's the big one on the bottom? I'm forgetting a lot
Kick
of
drum,
stuff today.
kick drum,
The bass aspect, the not snare drum,
floor tom, floor tom, kick
floor
drum.
tom, kick drum, kick drum.
Yeah. Yes.
In my head, that didn't sound right.
It's a kick drum, bro. You're
Yeah,
good.
kick drum.
Yeah.
And so then what they do is they then sample that in. I did a
Hmm.
mixing. I I did a course where it was like they gave you the raws, and then
Hmm.
as I'm going through, I'm like, "There's a file missing. Where's the snares?" And they're like, "That's all on you." So
Yeah.
then if I
See,
wanted to do
that's
mix a song, I have to go in
uh-huh.
there and do that. And so it just depends on like what people are wanting. Depends on the engineer and aspects. And also in your situation, I don't think you
Right.
have enough mics. I think it's like the standard would be like 16 mics set up in the room.
I just upgraded to the same interface. Like I said, I'm running through ADAT, so I got two interfaces. I got 16 channels. I will
There we go.
be I will be running. So I have an 8-piece kit, but right now it's set up to like a 4-piece. So I have a kick drum, a tom rack, one tom rack, and two floor toms. Snare. So that's what, five mics right there, and then you got two overheads. I'm running two room mics, and then some spot microphones for the ride, maybe the splashes, my hi hat, and the kick drum. So that's what, 8, 9, 10, 11, so 12, 13 mics.
That's close.
Which is that's not bad. That's not bad for um. I wouldn't really see why you would really need 16 unless you have more pieces to your kit.
I think that's more like the more extreme death metal drums where they it's just like you look at the drummer and he's like got
Mhm.
drums everywhere.
Yeah. I've never really liked those types of setups, like where it's like they got like 14 freaking toms and like freaking four kick drums. Like that's ridiculous. You know what I mean?
It's just
Um,
excessive.
yeah. I've always seen that the best drummers, especially in studio recordings, um, they always their kit is like really small. Um, kind of. Not like small, but like they got one, maybe two on the rack, one or two floor toms, you know what I mean? Like they don't over access everything. Everything is kind of just right. You know what I mean? Like
And
if
that
I can, I'm gonna see if I can point over to my camera very slowly.
yeah, you've done a couple lives with it too. So
I don't know if you can see that, but right here, rack tom. Over here is my floor tom. I don't, you really can't see that, but it's not over excessive. You know what I mean? It's not like I got like a crap ton of symbols everywhere. You can actually see in front of the kit.
was there's a music studio. They charge $5,000 to learn how to be a mix engineer, which is just hilariously absurd because you could go to a school and get an associate's for um
Yeah.
uh you could get a certificate in music engineering for cheaper. But he
I
had a
feel like
video.
that's ridiculous. Just go,
Yeah.
just join Nail the Mix. Learn easy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I canceled it because I needed to cut down on expenses and I
Mhm.
wasn't doing anything. And my CPU is built for gaming, so I selected a gaming CPU, and it wasn't until after I discovered I was going to be mixing music. So now I have latency, so I have to limit my channels and stuff. So, but he was talking about how a band showed up to his place, and this guy's famous because he's mixed Silverstein, which is pretty big band.
Okay.
And he had a band show up for recording, and he noticed the drummer's cymbal was cracked. He's like, "Cool, if you want me to record you, you need to run down to Guitar Center and get a new one." He's like, "No, dude, it's good." He's like, "No, I'm telling you, you will go down to Guitar Center and get a new cymbal. Otherwise, I will not record you. I'm not going to waste my time, and I'm not going to waste your time. We're going to do it right the first time, so it gets good." And so he was
Okay.
like, "Ugh." Went down to Guitar Center, got it, came back, and he's like, "See, it sounds better."
The thing is that's the type of stuff I kind of hate because I feel like you're supposed to use what you have available. Now,
Yeah,
I get it. You want to have the best sounding quality ever, but to me, that's again very cookie cuttered type of
yeah.
way approach to things. I mean, the best albums recorded weren't really recorded with the best equipment. I mean, take for example, like Slipknot, like their first two albums, they used what they had. They didn't have the best equipment. They're from freaking Domain, Iowa. Like they didn't, you know what I mean? And but their success was so huge because the music was really good. It's all about the music too, man. Like I guess I understand like the engineering part of it, but right now these symbols are really old. They're not used or new. Well, they are used. My bad. I got one freaking. Yeah, actually, I'm just gonna show you. So this thing right here, I'm gonna be using for my recordings, and personally, yeah, I wouldn't want to use this, but just because I just want to see how it sounds and how I could use it in a song, you know what I mean? It could come out really well. It depends on how much you actually push forward to make something sound that should sound like crap sound good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and using what you have and using it in such a way that it provides um a flavored nuance to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's the thing about music. It doesn't have to be like it needs to be this way. We need to record with this type of stuff 24/7. You know what I mean? Like experiment. Be experimental.
Like
Change it up a little bit. That's how you find new ideas. You know what I mean?
there's a country star that blew up a year ago for his song Richmond North of Richmond. His name's Oliver Anthony, and he recorded his song that blew up on YouTube on a Samsung phone. Like
Dude, seriously. Crazy.
that's what his Apple release is just his recording. He went straight to DistroKid.
Bro.
So meanwhile, there's these engineers. I think there's a. It's kind of like having the knowledge necessary to know when to use stuff and when to do stuff and like when not to do it. I mean, look at the
Yeah.
Beatles. A lot of the Beatles songs were all experimental, and we
Mm-hmm.
look at it today and go, "Wow, that is beautiful music." But at the time, they're
Mm-hmm.
like, "I have no idea if this is gonna work."
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the fun part. You're supposed to just have fun. You know what I mean? Have fun with creating and not like worry about the type of gear that you have because it's not even about the gear, it's about the skill too that you have as well.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? Like it's not always about the gear and like having expensive things to make things sound good. Like you're supposed to experiment and have fun with it. You know what I mean?
or maybe it's that busted guitar that you had. Like, look at what's his name. Um, He's famous for smoking marijuana in the White House. Not Snoop Dogg. He's a country guy.
He's famous for smoking marijuana in the White House. What?
Yeah. Is it not Ted Nugent? Is it Ted Nugent? It doesn't seem right. No, it's somebody else. He one of these guys has been using the same guitar for his entire career. The same acoustic guitar. And
That's crazy.
so he takes it into this guitar guy, and the guitar guy has to fix the, put new pieces of wood in because it's been worn down to where there's a hole, you know what I mean? But he's still
Right.
using that same guitar. So I think there's a place to time and place to use stuff. Like
Hmm.
you could still cut up a good steak with a bad knife. In
Right.
the end, it's still a good steak because it's how you
Hmm.
cook it, you know?
Yeah.
So, maybe you don't have that $1,200, Stratocaster guitar, but
Yeah.
you've got
I
that
mean,
$300 I-bands. It's going to do the same thing.
yeah. Like in my recordings, Dead Alive, for example, the guitars in that. I mean, I'm not saying it's like the best guitar tone ever, but it's not bad. It's you ever heard of a Harley Benton guitars?
Yeah.
Very cheap, very cheap. You can grab a freaking guitar for like 100, $200. Shipping fees is a little over excessive, but really good freaking cheap guitars. I literally am blown away by the quality that they have. But the only difference I made with that is that I got some Seymour Duncan pickups and I put it in the guitar. And then that was the tone. So like the guitar was like at least maybe $500 at most.
My wife and I, when we moved here, something the military base does is they put stuff out on the curbs and post about, hey, XYZ was put out on the curb. So my wife got her guitar. She wanted to start learning how to play guitar as like a hobby, and she found one, and then I found one, and
That's cool.
they're two I bands. You know what I mean? Like it's still going to do. Now at the point, it's about the guitarist at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So I played violin years ago, and I mentioned it a couple times on my podcast, but people are probably tired of me bringing it up. But my parents couldn't afford the best violin, but
Right.
it worked for what I needed it for.
Mm-hmm.
So, and sometimes I think there's this perception that price equals quality, when
Right.
sometimes you're paying more for the notoriety, you're paying for the name than you are paying for the actual
Yes.
quality.
Yeah. That's true.
Like my grandpa had a pair of Doc Martin boots that were phenomenal. They don't
Mm-hmm.
make them to that quality anymore. They're
Right.
all crap. Synthetic leather, it's synthetic insoles. They don't
Because it makes them
last.
more money. It makes them more money because everybody
Yeah.
wants them. Yeah.
Now you're paying for the Doc Martin name.
Yeah.
Like, I had a pair of knockoff Ray-Bans I got when I was in the Middle East. Nobody could tell that they weren't real.
Mm-hmm.
If I got five for the price of one. And so it's just like, sometimes having, the main stuff doesn't really work out the well. Now there are some brands that do have quality, um, but it's just consumerism is something that society's struggling with too, with like the whole subscription thing. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
That's true.
people post about, hey, I'm really struggling with my finances, and then it's like they post like, why are you spending $900 a month on subscription? You
Yeah.
like, you got Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, Apple. You got all these same things. They all do the same thing. Get rid
Mm-hmm.
of one of them, or a lot of people don't know your local library
Right.
will have access to subscription stuff. They digitize the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of spending, $30 a month or whatever X amount to get a special,
Yeah.
it's whatever. What I really don't like is Amazon will show that a movie's out available, and I was really excited to go watch something, and then it's locked because you now have to purchase a special package to watch the AMC channel on Amazon. So it's like, and then they're like, why is
Right.
piracy so bad?
I know.
Weird. Wonder why.
Yeah.
BMW released because cars are so smart these days. And Tesla started doing this too, where to sell a car in California to meet the requirement, it had to be below a price range. So what Tesla did is they took the car, they programmed it to limit its thing to technically change its performance, and it was under the X amount of money that California said that it would get a EV write-off.
Mm-hmm.
And so then what people could do after is pay $7,000 to upgrade to get the full car again. You would
Oh my
unlock
God.
everything. So it's just like
Oh, yeah,
the Germans were doing this subscription thing to have heated seat. Like the car would literally come with everything, but you could pay extra to get access to all the other features that you can't use right now because they're broke. They're
bro,
locked. They're
bro.
paywalled. And it's just like,
It's
oh my gosh.
like,
We
get
live
out of
in
here.
interesting times. We are living in a
Right.
Chinese curse, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right. Well,
You got to go soon,
about
man.
like
Vincent.
5 minutes, maybe 5-10 minutes. Like, is there anything like spot on that you want to talk about real quick, or
Um,
like
I'll
any
offer
specific topic?
I'll offer my services if you need a ghostwriter. I'm here. uh, I enjoy writing. Sometimes I think I enjoy writing lyrics more than I enjoy doing everything else. But
Oh, really? Yeah.
uh, I think
I
you have
hate
really.
writing
Go ahead.
lyrics. I hate writing lyrics, to be honest with you. It's I struggle with writing lyrics. It's the hardest thing ever. Literally. Out of, writing with other instruments, lyrics is my not my strong suit, but I want to be a vocalist. So I
Yeah,
mean, I don't you're
you got to
choosing
do
picking
it.
my battles.
Have you heard of Coheed and Cambria?
I don't even understand what you said.
There's a band called Coheed and Cambria. It's like a music opera. Their
No, I never
albums are
heard of
all a
them.
story. You'll like it. Very secular, but phenomenal. Claudio Sanchez is the vocalist.
Hmm.
One of their best songs called Welcome Home, he wrote on his kitchen floor with a giant bowl of Fruit Loop cereal. And that song was written in his kitchen floor in his apartment. So,
Bruh, that's crazy.
right. So it's just like, I think there's a lot of aspects to come, and writer's block and artist block is just a struggle. So there's ways to go out,
That's what I was
meditation,
trying to say.
prayer, scripture. You know what I mean? Like maybe there's something, maybe it's not coming to you because you need to experience something, or maybe you're approaching something the wrong way. So people always
There's
fear.
what you said that you mentioned there, like maybe you can't write anything because you need to experience something, and I do feel like that's true. But even also, like, as of right now, I'm having writer's block too. Like, as I was mentioning earlier, trying to write something. I don't know if you see my post, but I'm like, dude, everything I've been writing's been complete booty cheeks. Like, so like, but there's things that I experienced in life, especially growing up, like in my mid-teens, that I would really not wish upon anybody. Um, and I've been really wanting to, like, in my music, I've really been wanting to talk on that topic, and I think in this next few songs that I'm trying to write, hopefully I'm able to uh fluently as possible try to put that down on paper and put it in a song from that experience, because the spirit this type of, well, this be Pacific, like I say, a Pacific experience, it was pretty scary, pretty scary experience, and I think anything to do with something like scary is pretty intense. It's pretty intense event for anybody in life who experiences stuff like that. So I think putting that in music definitely gives that a a variety of um different ideas of writing something and actually putting that in that outlet, if that makes any sense. That
It.
I don't know. Do
I
you know
agree.
what I mean?
My first song I released is Release from Pain, and it's a very hard song, and I wanted it to be that way because some struggles with mental health, and people who struggle with suicidal ideation or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I released a song on Mental Health Awareness Day, May 22nd. So maybe getting into that hard part and getting down, maybe that's what's blocking you.
Yeah,
So,
that's
you know,
that I would agree with that because in that time it was a certain time and point where I was trying to fill in a void, but really, oh, there goes my camera. There it goes. It was a certain time and point in my life where like I was trying to fill a void, but all it really was hurting me more and more and more. But I still kept doing it because even if I didn't do it, I really didn't have a whole lot of emotion. Like I didn't really feel. I was like pretty numb. I just wanted to feel something. But this feeling was very painful. It was very neglecting on my mental health and physical health, like really, really bad. And I think I've been it's still I still struggle with it to this day. Like it's an event that happened that I did to myself that I still struggle with. And I feel like writing a song about that would be awesome because like it's something I struggle with every day. It's not something, it happens once and then it's kind of like it kind of lingers off. Like it lingers with you and it kind of stays and you kind of I have to kind of like deal with it on a constant basis and try to learn and grow with that. You know what I mean? And I mean it's gotten better, but there's days where it's just like, man, this sucks. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, man, and I think writing a song about those types of experiences, and I mean, I'm not trying to be straightforward on the topic right now because I kind of want to keep it,
yeah.
because I do want to talk about that topic after I release my song, but I think through um, that moment in my life where it's just like, why am I doing this to myself? You know what I mean? It's just, and because it still affects me to this day, I feel like that's something that I would kind of lost track where the heck I was. I'm just rambling on now.
Sometimes to do hard things in life that could be beneficial to others is acts of courage. It's nobody wants to die the hero. You know what I mean? And so like
Yeah,
that's the whole point of my podcast is like developing that sense and growth of to where, when called upon, we are okay uh, for that point of martyrdom that we'd be willing to die for the cause. But what drives there for a genuine sincerity of putting all on the line? You know what I mean? Like Christ said, he who shall save himself shall lose himself. He who shall lose himself shall save himself. Like um, if we are trying to do everything but we neglect those around us, then what's the point? You know what I mean? So um, I think when it comes to hard stuff, there's ways to approach it. And the other thing is, sometimes in life, maybe it's just not the right time. Um, but I trust you. I think you have a really good potential, an amazing path forward for you, and I'm excited to see where you're going. Uh,
yeah,
I've
thanks, man.
enjoyed I've enjoyed your music. I enjoyed talking to you. I think I think you'll figure it out. For people who want to know you more and follow
Hmm.
you, where can they do that?
Right. Oh, my bad. You can follow me uh my main page is on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. I'm also on TikTok, but not 100%. I don't really like TikTok, but I'm on there. I mean, any like social media platform, Spotify, Apple Music, pretty much anywhere. Um, if you want to
And
stream my music,
I always put the links in the episode's description, folks. So
yes, check the links.
if
Links
you
are
can't
very important.
and if you can't find them, it's on you. And Pfeuma is spelled Pheuma. So I was always like Pfeuma, F-U-M-A.
Yeah, no,
No, don't
PH.
do not do that, folks. Do not do not do that into Google. Um, but yeah, I think you'll figure it out. Writer's blocks come and go, and
Hmm.
you'll figure it out. But man, this has really been awesome. We should do this again. I appreciate your time. You have a
No problem.
great rest of your day, and
Yeah, I will, man. Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate you wanting to talk to me and about the stuff that I've been doing. I mean, dude, that means the world to me. That's very awesome. keep doing what you're doing and keep talking to the other bands out there, because I feel like a lot of people need to hear certain messages for certain types of people. So I think what you're doing is freaking awesome, man. So you keep doing what you're doing, man.
It's kind of predatory on my aspect that I need content, and something that musicians want to do is talk about their stuff. So it's kind of easy. I don't want to become all music, but it's just like the easiest way for me to get a response is like, I'll do it. Hey, you want to talk about your band? I love it. I'm not saying it's like I feel bad,
Right.
but yeah. And this has been a fun episode. I've never broken down a music video like that before, and it was really great to hear your aspects.
Yeah, that was awesome,
We'll
dude.
we'll go ahead and end recording right here, and we'll talk offline.